Hey y'all. Happy Friday Eve. Hi Hera. I see you. Okay, so welcome to another Sips and Conversations Live. I'm your host, Nancy Ngwa, and it is Thankful Thursday, but it's also Thirsty Thursday. You come on to Sips a little thirsty, a little parched. And so to quench my thirst today, I'm drinking on some red wine. I don't know what this is called, but it was on sale at Publix. So cheers, okay, to you. Today I am joined by an incredible guest. All right. Before I intro her on, just want to tell everyone that this is my first officially sponsored sip. All right. Sponsored by Chatterboss. Chatterboss, y'all already know, is where I go for all of my virtual assistant needs. I am assisted by the incredible Elena. And so, the link is in my bio. Go ahead and click it if you are interested, if you're a small business interested in having some extra help, or even if you're just like, a mom or whomever that just needs a personal assistant because, life is rough and we need help. So, anywho, link in bio. That's that. So, introing my guest today. All right, we sipping with Hera Z. Hera is a sales and marketing strategist, y'all. All right, so if you have a friend that is an entrepreneur, okay, an online entrepreneur, go ahead, tag him in right now because you do not want them to miss this special sip. So raise your glass, help me introduce or bring on Hera to the sip.
Am I on?
You're on.
Ah!
Hey.
Okay, can you see me? You can see me.
Yes, I see all your beauty. You're just so
Amazing.
gorgeous. Oh my
I said I
gosh.
was gonna put a filter on though.
You're like no filter needed because you are a filter. Are you
Okay.
kidding me?
Oh, thank you. We're gonna go with no filter today then.
Yes,
Just for
you're
you.
absolutely gorgeous. Just for me, you're absolutely gorgeous. I'm just like your lashes, your hair. You're like, yes, I just woke up and I am fabulous.
I have a shirt that says there's no way you woke up like that. Should
You're
have
like, no, but
I
I
should
did.
have worn it.
Yeah. Hey, 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 Cree. All right. So before we jump into the sip, go ahead and tell everybody a little bit about who are you, what do you do, and all that good jazz.
Should probably start with what do I not do? I feel like I'm a jack of all trades, but the way that I make about 75% of my income, because I do believe in multiple streams,
Oh,
is marketing, strategy, consulting. I have a
yeah,
team that will carry out marketing strategies, all of that like done for you stuff for people as well.
yeah,
So marketing strategist, business strategist. We were talking before that it's what I love to do when
yeah,
it's done properly and with integrity.
yeah.
So I've been a marketing strategist for a really long time. I've been in marketing for a really long time. You can't see my gray hairs, can you? Little
No,
Cruella,
no.
just a little Cruella popping out.
Oh my gosh, this must be what I sound like to people when I say I have it's like four gray hairs.
Yeah,
You can't see it right now because I have like my braids,
yeah.
but it's literally four, and I'm like, oh my gosh, y'all, I'm gray. I'm so gray. That I just
So,
I just felt that because they're like, girl, get out of here.
yeah,
But no, we cannot see your gray hairs.
yeah.
So how did you kind of hop into the sales and marketing world?
It's a really good question because I was just thinking too, right? Sales and marketing, like how does somebody take a job like that seriously? And it comes from a lot of failures and just seeing a lot of businesses like
Yeah,
bomb because
yeah,
they don't have that strategy, they don't have that messaging. So
yeah.
we were talking before just about 2005. I was actually a study abroad director. I used to be a teacher. I used to teach
Oh
Spanish
wow. Wait,
43
what?
Yeah. I'm 42 years old, and that's why I say,
Wow.
like, where should we say, like, what do I not do? But
Yeah.
I've lived many lives and had many careers. I don't think marketing will be my last one either.
I love it.
But I was a teacher. I was a Spanish teacher in university and high school. And then one of the things that they did when I was getting my master's in Hispanic linguistics was they took all of the TAs and they would allow them to go study abroad. And I
Okay.
was not study abroad, lead the program for the study abroad students. So I was a director of a study abroad program, hanging out with all
Wow.
these Spanish, these Spanish people and watching my students. And I had met somebody that did websites designs, and
Yeah.
I helped him kind of promote it and sell advertising. So back in 2005, I was pounding Spanish streets, pavements, selling
Like in
advertising and
Spain?
say it again.
Like in Spain or in
In
US Spanish?
in Spain, in Spain. Yeah,
Okay, so can we just take a moment because
we can.
hold on.
Yes.
What part of Spain were you in? I just have to live through you real fast because I've not
Okay.
traveled abroad in a few years, so just take me there, just real fast.
You are a professional conversationist, and I am going wherever you're taking me. I lived in there several times and for several years. Both times that I kind of went and back, which is another story in itself, was in
Yeah.
Sevilla, so in the south.
Okay.
And then when I did the study abroad program, when I was the director of these college students, it was in Granada, which is also in the
Granada.
south. Yeah.
Wait, I think that's where my sister is. My sister in Spain. She was in Spain. Um, yeah, I think she just left Spain. Now she's in, I forget where she's at. Uh, Croatia. Am I saying it right? Is it
Croatia
Croatia?
could be, yeah. It's
Because it's like
gorgeous.
right there, right? Yeah, like
It's
with
pretty
the
close.
water. It's pretty close.
Yeah.
Yeah, so because she's been there like all summer, so I'm just kind of like, oh my God, tell me about like your life. But yeah, it's so hot. Yeah, muy caliente.
Muy
See,
caliente.
muy
Look at
caliente.
you. That was good. That was very
Yeah,
good.
gracias. I
Yes.
grew up in Texas. Tex-Mex is where it's at.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, I'm married to a Puerto Rican, so wepa, wepa. What we
I
do?
love it.
Yeah. So
Oh,
Spain was, I guess, where it started. I started with the
yeah,
website and just understanding. I mean, I love the idea of business. And I'm one of those people that is not shy about saying, I love money. I love making money.
yeah.
I
I
don't, I
love
don't
that.
think it has to be an either or. So my brain is
Yeah,
constantly thinking of ways to generate income, but it's always in service to someone else.
yeah. Yeah, I think
So
it's interesting that you kind of made a point of that like you're one of the people that's not ashamed to say I love money.
love it.
Like, why do you think that people, because it is a thing, right? Like I heard someone say the other day that like how much wealth can you have? Like making a lot of money, is that like an evil thing? And I'm just like, but people kind of shy away from, no, I love money because it affords me whatever you want,
Mm-hmm.
but like why do you think like A, why are you not afraid of being able to admit that? And why do you think people shy away from those kind of statements?
I think, and this I'm going to go with my first thought is going to be the best thought. And one caveat and disclaimer here, right? We were talking about social media. So like
Hmm.
I want us all to have not our facial filters on, but like our
Yeah.
mental filters
Yeah.
of where when we consume and hear things on social media, you guys were only getting like a piece of the pie,
Yeah.
like a crumb of the pie. And I just would really encourage people that as you're scrolling and you're taking things in, instead of taking it as, that person is this, well, if that person says that, then maybe that's how I should do things. Like we're
Yeah.
constantly exposed to all of these ideas. So as what I'm about to tell you is just one piece of the pie. And, if we want to have a conversation and to develop it further, there's more stuff to it. But
Yeah.
that's why I say first thought, best thought, and then if anybody's curious, then have a conversation and a debate. But I would think that what came to my mind is that when I grew up, even you would, I would look at people who maybe did not have the things that they wanted. It
Hmm.
created some sense of either lack or pain or struggle or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Myself included, even me. Like I've got a story about my childhood where I grew up in a really nice neighborhood, but my parents were broke as shit. So it was like, I don't know. I didn't even ask you if we could cuss on here. Apologies.
Yeah, so you're good. Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
You're good. You're
Right.
good.
So there's all these things that formulate, and it formulates about our identity and are we enough or are we not? And what I
Yeah,
think, as my first thought, best thought, I'm going to go with, is
yeah.
that in order to make ourselves feel better, we have a tendency to reject the things that, it's like, oh, well, if we don't have that, there must be something wrong with us. But in order for us to survive, we have to convince ourselves that there's nothing wrong with us. So that thing must be bad. Right? Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Reflection, right? Reflection. I think, again, at
Yeah,
42 years old or 42 years existing on this planet, let's not say
yeah,
old,
yes,
my power point, my piece of leverage is stillness and reflection
yeah,
and questioning, right?
yeah,
When I hear something or I see something, I don't immediately judge it.
yeah,
Um, I just get curious.
yeah,
I just
yeah.
get curious.
Yeah, so kind of perfect segue into getting kind of back to the talk on how you got into sales, right? Like in
Yeah.
Spain, from being an educator to that transition of, I'd love to hear like how did you even make that transition? How were you not judging? What sparked your curiosity?
Ooh, what sparks my curiosity? I think a lot of pain, right? Again, like I said, like when you experience that pain, it's how do we get to that place of ease?
Yeah.
I think I feel extremely blessed to have a healthy mind, and I think seeing role models, like hearing another example, I'll tell you, this is actually really weird. I remember, like, my parents would argue a lot, and I remember
Mm-hmm.
once seeing my best friend's mom
Mm-hmm.
discover, like, we're going deep here, discover that her husband was cheating on her. We discovered it, and I remember saying, "Don't tell your mom, she'll go nuts. She'll kill him. She'll this and that. It'll be big drama." Da, da, da. And my best friend said, "No, no, no, I have to tell her and she'll be fine." And her mother
Yeah.
handled it with such grace
Wow.
that it showed me a different way. So I think conversations like this are amazing because you can
Yeah.
take one nugget and it can just show you, oh,
Yeah.
there's a different way.
Yeah.
And if you're willing to experiment with that, like if you're willing to have that experiment, like let me just see how it goes, which is what
Yeah.
all of marketing is. Oh my God, marketing is all a test and an experiment. So if you're willing to just test with your life, safely, of course, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mitigate the risk and just
Mm-hmm.
experiment to see how it goes,
Mm-hmm.
I think you'll find grace in that. I think
Yeah.
you can find some grace in that and growth for sure. For
Jeez,
sure.
I love that mindset. I love that I love that mindset. You saying that marketing is all just a test and it's just all an experiment
Mm-hmm.
because, I have a culinary business that started off
Yeah.
as me catering, well, cooking from my home kitchen with my cousin, African food, right? And then now I've got like this barbecue sauce that we've launched and I'm trying to
Amazing.
get that scaled, but like I just jumped into it and just like tested and experimented. So now I'm kind of like doing okay, let's kind of dial back for like 2 seconds and
Yep.
actually strategize behind
Yes.
it.
Yep.
And I've seen what's working, what's not, and so we're kind of like revamping packaging for more, marketability and all that good jazz. But it's definitely all been an experiment and all been a complete test.
Yeah. And that, I think that's where business, if we're going to talk about business, right, can become
Yeah,
really spiritual
yeah,
and personal and part
yeah,
of your like evolution and your growth.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that's what I love about business. It's
Yeah,
spiritual.
yeah, it's so necessary,
Yeah.
the spirituality element of it.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I promise we're not gonna derail again. But okay, so hearing you, you're in Spain, you're with your abroad Spanish students,
Yeah.
and what was kind of next in your transition?
After that was getting an actual teaching job.
Oh,
And always knowing in my heart of hearts that I
yeah,
would, get my groove into teaching because I love teaching. I
yeah,
love teaching to this day. Once a teacher, always a teacher.
yeah.
It's just the walls that you do it within or not, no walls,
Mm-hmm.
right? Here on
Yeah,
the internet,
yeah, yeah.
they change. But if you're a true teacher, yeah, that
Folding doors.
was really cool. I like that. teaching job. I'm going to give you the short version. Knowing in my heart that I was going to start a business one day, losing my mom to cancer,
Oh,
that
wow.
that was really challenging. I was 28 at the time, so the questions of like why
Yeah.
so young,
Yeah.
um, when really in reality I had 28 amazing years.
Yeah.
That I was very fortunate for that. And
Yeah.
after my mom had passed away, it was really just like, there's a story that I tell all the time about the bereavement days, and I was supposed to go back on a Friday and they docked my pay, and that set something off in me. I was like, I lost my mother and you docked my pay. You couldn't put it as a sick day. You're calling this a personal day. So that lit a fire in me to
Ooh.
say, yeah, yeah. And I love that school. They were great, but it was just a snafu that was meant to catapult me to the next level and get the
Yes.
cojones, if we're going to
Yes.
talk in Spanish, to get the
Yes.
cojones to leave.
Yes.
And that was where I started my very first online business. Dropped 40 grand on this online yoga business because I'm also a certified yoga instructor. After
Oh,
my
so
mom passed,
neat.
yeah, I did 1 year of therapy, and after therapy, I was like, I need yoga because
Yeah.
yeah, that will give me peace, and it did. I
Yeah.
mean, it
Yeah.
definitely helps. That was a turning point for me too, and kind of what makes me, I guess, the way that I am and how I do things.
Yeah.
40 grand in that business, filming yoga videos, yoga membership, and I was missing a strategy. I was missing traffic. I thought this was in 2010.
Okay.
So I was like, if I start a blog, everybody will go to my
Yeah.
blog and they'll
Of
buy
course,
my
everyone's gonna
stuff.
find you. Of course, that's how it works. You spend
Yeah.
more money, go get a blog,
Yeah.
and spend more money on photos and more money on videos, and yeah, of course, you're gonna get found.
Yeah. It was equivalent to another college degree, right? A
Yeah.
fairly inexpensive one, I guess, according to
Yeah.
today's standards, but 40 grand to learn.
Yeah.
That was what really set, my soul on fire for, all right, I'm determined if this business failed, like how many businesses can I build? And I've gone on to build several of my own.
Yeah.
My husband and I currently run 3 and other people's. So
Wow.
yeah.
Okay, so did you have an online yoga business? Can we talk
Yeah.
about that a little?
Yeah. I thought that it was like, I love memberships. I have a
Yeah.
membership today. That was my first, was like membership. And I think
Yeah.
at the time it was like Yoga Glow and then maybe some yoga studio in Santa Monica were the only yoga memberships that were out there.
Okay.
And I was like, well, I'm going to do my own yoga membership. And I filmed the videos, and I still have those videos. They're on Vimeo still.
I love
this
it.
day.
You've got to be able to reflect, right? Reflection.
Yes. Yeah. And I filmed them all, and I put up the blog, and I paid for the fancy website. I paid for a trademark, Nancy. Oh my God. Like, I didn't need a trademark because somebody even tried to take the name, and then they were like, I'm not giving it to you. You have to take me to court. So it's like, okay.
So
But
do you hear a lot that people, because that is one of the things where it's like you need a trademark, you need a trademark, you need a trademark. And while you're touching on it, I kind of want to like just hit on that for a second.
Good. Yeah.
Why did you have that reaction with the trademark situation?
To taking her to court over it, or like,
No, like why you're like, oh my gosh, I paid for a trademark. Like why did I do that? Like why is that the reaction?
I'll tell you why. I have very specific reasons, actually, because
Okay.
one, I was not ready for it at all. It was super expensive, and I didn't even have the funds or the means to defend myself if I had to in court. When I think now when I advise people whether or not to get a trademark, we do a whole list of like checks and balances.
Yes.
And how committed are they to taking this like to the umpteenth level. And I just don't know if it's just a piece of the pie, and what I say right now could be completely different for business A, and they might need it, but business B might not.
Right.
I didn't need it. I may have had good intentions, thinking I was going to take that right to the next level, but I ended up not needing it. And that trademarks are really expensive.
So pricey.
Yeah, and it doesn't mean that people can't use your name or anything of the sort, because if they're insistent on it, which this woman was, you have to hire a lawyer and go to court, and that's just another
More money.
So yeah, I let it go, and then she ended up letting it go, and then I ended up letting the business go because it
Wow.
wasn't making me money. I got
Yeah.
into another business.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like it's important to like as you said a couple of things, like you did a lot of trials with the marketing strategy, right? You tried
Yeah.
different things and you were just trying to find yourself. And then at some point you said, you know what, this is just not profitable. I can't continue to do this. How long did it take you to get to that point?
It's a good question. I think I let it evolve.
Hmm.
I let it evolve, and I let it go from memberships to, okay, we were doing festivals. We had the biggest kids yoga festival in South Florida.
Oh, wow.
That was a beast to take on. And then I'm reading Big Magic right now by Elizabeth Gilbert, which she's the Eat, Pray, Love woman.
Oh, yeah, that's what I've heard that name. Elizabeth. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and she's got this book Big Magic where she's just talking about the whole creative process, and I think that's where it was. It was like that the yoga business evolved into a different yoga business, which led
Yeah.
me to another opportunity, and I fell into the thing that just clicked and worked for me,
Yeah.
and incorporated my values and my beliefs and the things that I wanted. It turned into be online health coaching. So I
Love
think
it.
also, yeah, allow yourself to evolve. Like even you're saying
Yeah.
too, right? We put a product out there, but then we kind
Yeah.
of we test, we look, and it's going to go
Yeah.
this way or it might go that way. But
Yeah.
always be willing to expand and evolve.
Yeah, evolution is like so necessary. Every year I have a word. And did I have one this year? I don't think I did, but last year was the year of evolution.
Yeah,
And it was just like, and so much change happened.
yeah,
Actually, it wasn't last year, it was 2020. I've like lost the whole year. And 2021 was like reset. I forget what the every year has like a theme, but
yeah,
2020 was evolution,
yeah.
was for me. And so yeah, allow yourself to evolve and to kind of go to that thing. Okay, so you go from um yoga to online health
Health coaching.
health coaching. So
Yep.
how was that?
That was great. That was fantastic. That was where I learned the most about marketing, was running that business because I had a very intimate relationship with my clients,
Okay.
and it was also it tied with a network marketing company. So back in
MLM. Was it like
2012,
MLM? Is that what those are, right? Is that
um,
multi-level? Was it multi-level marketing? Is that
yeah,
what that? Okay.
yeah, multi-level network. I called it network marketing.
Okay.
Fantastic opportunity when you do it right.
Yeah.
Fantastic opportunity when you do it right. And I made
What does
some
that mean
mistakes.
when you do it right? What does that mean?
When you are there to serve people as opposed to, hey girl, I want to join my Facebook group so I can sell you something. Like, sorry. No,
Yeah.
sorry. No.
Yeah.
That's not how marketing works. That is
Yeah.
not how sales works. That is not building a relationship. So
Yeah.
again, I think I learned the most just because what that company was giving us training wise, running my own business, and the intimacy level. And we're not talking about romantic intimacy.
Mm-hmm.
It's really serving your clients and
Mm-hmm.
understanding their needs
Yep.
is the number one way to grow, scale, expand, explode a business.
Yeah. So how do you kind of get to like what are some things that allowed you to understand who your client is? So like for the struggling entrepreneur, if you can maybe drop a little, tip or two. Um,
I could drop many. I have a lot. I have a lot to say. I think if I were to make it brief,
hmm.
it's you think about, well, there's so much digging, and it's an
Yeah.
ongoing process, and I want
Yeah.
you to know that it's an ongoing, forever evolving process of who your customer is, what they're struggling with,
Hmm.
not only what they need, because you're the
Hmm.
expert, you know what they need, but what they want is a very different
Hmm.
thing than what they need.
Okay,
It's
what does
very
that mean?
it's very different, right? So if you have you said a barbecue sauce,
Hmm.
and you know that this barbecue sauce, like what the barbecue sauce needs is this spice and that spice, and
Yep.
you know the recipe and you know all of that stuff, you're
Yeah.
not going to market to them and tell them I have all of these spices and it's going to do this and that. No, your
Right.
customers want that banging, popping flavor that they can
Yes.
pour all over, and everybody's at the
Yeah.
barbecue and they're going to be
Yeah.
like, you're the best cook ever. That's what they
Right.
want.
That's what they want. Yes.
That's what they want. They want a delicious, mouth-watering meal for
Yeah.
themselves, and if
Yeah.
they're potentially like entertaining at the barbecue.
Yeah.
But you know what they need as the
Yeah.
expert and the creator and the owner of that business. But what they
Yeah.
want is something totally different.
Wow. Okay. So like how do you pull, because the way you said that, so I literally had a review this week that was just that, like, oh my goodness, I usually have to put honey, what was it, honey and spices and all this stuff to my barbecue sauce, but like everything is already in yours, right? And
Yeah.
so, but the reaction was more like my daughter ate it and my brother enjoyed it
Yep.
and my cousin was like, oh my gosh, you know?
Yes.
So you saying that, I was like, dang, like I never really thought about it from that way. Because yeah, you do know what the part, like what the customer needs.
Yeah.
I don't know necessarily what they want until they say what they or start reacting to it. So
Yep.
that's just such a great point.
Yeah, that's why, I mean, the big marketing agencies, right? They have these focus groups.
Okay.
And you'll hear people saying beta test, like, oh, I'm a beta testing. I don't love the word beta.
Yeah.
There's other ways we can do it, right? But there's also a
Yeah.
really great book called Ask. And the people who are closest to me, like in my personal life, think that I ask too many questions. But that's another PowerPoint, right? That's even part of that reflective process personally.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
whenever I go to launch a new product, if my clients are launching new products, we always ask first, right? There's market research that's involved. So I've studied with Tony Robbins quite a bit too, and I hear him
Oh,
echoing
neat.
in my
Wow.
head. Yeah, all of his whole university and his coaches and all of that has also changed me. That's later in the timeline, just a little bit later after the yoga health coaching stuff. But
Okay. We're getting there.
yeah,
I
ask a
gotta get
better
there.
question, get a better answer.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. Okay, so as you have said, okay, you went from yoga to health coaching. Um, are you still in that business today?
No,
Okay.
no, I'm not. I'm not helping people personally on their journeys any longer, health wise, unless it's
Hmm.
like my best friend from when I was 2. She's like, what do you know about cycle syncing, like hormonally for females? I follow cycle syncing.
Oh
Um,
wow. Okay, what does that mean? Cycle
Going with your
syncing.
menstrual cycle, like your hormones, and if you're
Hmm.
not having a menstrual cycle, some people also go with the moon. But
Okay.
where you are at in your menstrual cycle, however many days it is, 26, 27, 28, your brain and your body function differently on each phase of your cycle. And I set up my whole business to run according to my cycle.
Wow.
So when we pick this day, this is prime time for when all of my neurons are firing. I can speak. I'm eloquent enough where I can formulate. Yeah, yes, smack in the middle of the cycle, babe. We could talk about this. We could talk about this private combo. But health, I know a lot. I know a lot about health. Yep.
Wow. That is so that was the kind of health coaching that you were doing with like, I mean, full.
No,
No, okay, that's
no,
more.
it was a lot of food and movement. So I was
Okay,
doing
okay.
nutrition, movement, and mindset.
Gotcha.
Was like
Gotcha.
the big piece, nutrition, movement, and mindset, keeping in mind my mother had passed away from cancer, so everything I learned from what she ate and what not to eat,
Yeah.
which to now I eat it, I realized that it was just trauma and like sadness.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I learned a lot about nutrition, a
Yeah.
lot about movement as a yoga instructor, and mindset, a lot of the stuff with Tony Robbins. So I'm
Yeah.
not doing that anymore. It does come into
Okay.
play like when I'm with my clients one-on-one.
Yeah.
500%. There's coaching in there. There's mindset coaching. I'm just not planning their meals,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know.
But you were
But
able to, it's all part of the story, right? And I think that's what's just so beautiful is this like you said, evolution
yeah,
to everything. Okay, so what was next after health coaching?
after health coaching, because it was a network marketing company and I had a team, I
Yeah.
had learned. I hired a mentor for like 10 grand to teach me how to build funnels, and it was worth it. I'll tell you, man.
So
Woman, I'll tell you,
what is
man, it was worth it.
what is a funnel? I have learned this.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not asking for myself anymore.
I'm really glad that you're asking though, because a lot of
Yeah.
people don't realize that they have funnels and they think that and I'm not trying to throw Russell under the bus, but Russell
Yeah.
Brunson, right? Like Click Funnels, everybody knows him, Expert Secrets, Russell Brunson. He's fantastic. He's a
Yeah.
fantastic marketer who made
Yeah.
a fantastic software that is
Yeah.
called ClickFunnels. Shout out to you, Russ, like amazeballs. You did great.
Yeah.
But a funnel is literally not, you have a funnel for your business. Your barbecue business has a funnel of one, how do people hear about my barbecue sauce?
Yeah.
Two, right? And what do I want to tell them about it, right? The
Yeah.
banging flavor, the spices, this is what you want, this is what you're going to get. Everybody's going to love you at the barbecue.
Everybody's
How are
gonna
you
love you
getting
on the barbecue. Yes.
how are you getting their email address or their contact information so
Yeah.
you can follow up with them and make them an offer,
Yeah.
make the sale, and then get a testimonial so you can start the
Yeah.
cycle all over again? That's a
Yeah.
funnel.
Yeah. And
That's a
and it
funnel.
and it sounds so easy. You've probably done the best job in breaking that down, because a lot of people are like, I mean, like literally, right? Like superb. Because a lot of people break it down so complex. And when I first heard it, I was like, wait, what? So you do this, you do that. But people are like, no, everyone has one, and it's this simple,
Yeah.
right? And so being
Yeah.
able to break things down to where it's like bite sizes that make sense. Because you can look, I can eat a whole cookie, but I gotta take it in little pieces.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So you did that so beautifully. Okay, so yeah, so
Thank you.
ClickFunnels um are definitely a great strategy to utilize, as you're saying. So sorry, I completely just got completely derailed. I just got so excited about how you
You
just
got you got you get
that's how I
excited, and
do. I get
I
so
want
into
I
it.
want to just remind everybody too, is like, if things sound too complicated,
Yeah.
like, are they trying to sell you something? What? It's not that complicated. And also, I don't want anybody to be afraid of being sold. You can't be sold. You have every right to say no. Let me
Yeah.
pause. Let me think about it. Let me ask you questions. Nobody's
Yes.
going to sell you. Nobody's
Yes.
going to sell you. So
Yes.
it's,
Yes.
yeah, everybody has a funnel. This is a funnel right now where if it were to be a funnel for me, people see me here, they're listening to my message. At some
Yeah.
point, they could go to my Instagram. Maybe I
Yeah.
get their email address. We have a DM,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I make them
Yeah.
an offer. I get a testimonial. We do it all over again. That's a
Yeah.
funnel.
It's so simple. It's so simple. Oh my gosh.
It's so simple. The software of ClickFunnels is what makes people think that it's some like fancy tech, and
Yeah.
you don't
But it's
need
not.
fancy tech. Yeah.
It's not that complex. Okay, so
No, but listen, when we talk about that 2020 strategy, I'm going to tell you how I did it with no technology
yes,
to prove
yes,
a point.
yes. So you know, what, let's fast forward to that, because I'm just excited for the people to hear
So
about
it
what you did
went
in
from, it was,
2020.
yeah, health coaching to having the team, hiring
Yes,
the mentor to learn about funnels and marketing, teaching
yes,
my team, running
about
my
all of
own
those
face.
strategies.
Yeah,
Okay.
teaching them how to build their own funnels, how to set up email sequences, and they always got stuck on the tech. They always
Yeah,
got stuck on the tech. So
yeah,
I started running my own ads because I knew how to, partnered up with the person who was running my ads. Remember, I was telling you, we built this agency. They wanted to go multi-million-dollar. And just
yeah,
in the pandemic, I was walking my dog right before we came here. And I was like, when I speak with Nancy, I want everybody to hear why I shifted from multi-million-dollar agency to just being really happy and
yeah.
actually making more money than I did in the agency, which I think is important. I don't want people to think, oh, I just want to be happy, and that means I make less money. Incorrect. You can be ridiculously happy and also make ridiculous amounts of money. And I'm not
Yes.
saying I make ridiculous amounts. What is ridiculous? It's subjective, objective, whatever
It's
that is,
totally
right?
subjective.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make $1 billion a year, and guess what? I'm still gonna be broke.
I'm a spend it all. Easy to make, harder to keep.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but I want people to hear the shift that I've had, because I went through this shift of feeling in my soul that building this giant corporation just wasn't for me. And I
yeah,
heard this podcast where this girl was like, she's a respected mentor of mine, and she says, I want to be world class, number one coach, mentor, marketing strategist. And when she said that, I just kind of like shuddered a little bit. I was like,
yeah,
I don't want to be world class at this. No.
yeah,
I want to enjoy my life, make the money that I like to make, serving the people that I like to serve, and just
yeah,
kind of being anonymous for a hot second.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So how did you scale back? How did you start to put that shield, is that the right word to use? Up.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
boundaries.
the boundaries, yeah.
Pain. You break down. You get to a point where you're working 16-hour days and you sit there, and some of my business partner asked me,
Mm,
like, are you even happy? And I'm like,
yeah,
no, I'm
yeah,
not.
yeah,
So you
yeah,
get to that point, and it goes back to what we said in the beginning. We experience this pain, and how do we get to that place of ease? How do we, Tony Robbins says it, right? And this is also marketing. When you write your sales copy, we move towards pleasure and the things that we want, and we move away from pain and the things we want to avoid.
yeah,
So that's just human nature, you
yeah,
know.
yeah,
Algorithms and all that stuff can change, but human beings are not going to change. So I think I was
yeah.
so broken and unhappy
Mm.
and getting physically ill, and then we entered a pandemic.
Which was the
We,
perfect, perfect timing.
it was the perfect time to pivot, because
Yeah.
I started to get really real with myself and say, I'm not happy doing these things for
Mm-hmm.
this outcome.
Mm-hmm.
Not for this outcome, same outcome, different vehicle. So I'm not happy doing these things for the outcome that I want. How can I get the same outcome but feel better on the way? And that was when I decided, well, if it's like, if I want $1 million, or not, at the time it was multi-millions, right? If I want a
Mm-hmm.
multi-million-dollar business, because that was the outcome, I want to receive that. I have to give that. How do I give multi-millions of dollars if I don't have it? And that was the strategy that was put into play in 2020, right before the pandemic. And it ended up being what everybody needed in 2020.
So tell us, what was it?
So we're going to take a sip. Let's take a little sip. Hold on. Take a little sip there. I got some electrolytes. I know you have
I'm a
wine.
big, yes, I have my wine.
I know
I
you
need
have
the wine.
wine.
I need the
Um,
wine after this week.
I was deemed crazy. We were running ads at the time, and it was a lot of ads coming through and cold calls, and it just felt not aligned with me and who I was. And I remember saying, I'm just going to give away multi-millions of dollars. How do I do that? Well,
Yeah.
My strategies are worth,
Yes.
thousands, tens of
Yes.
thousands, the work that we do. I'm like, so
Yes.
F it. I'm going to give away strategies. And I had the idea to do 1,000 marketing calls. And here's how I want to break it down. I want to break it down for everybody so they can duplicate it. This was a funnel, and it was a funnel with no tech, no technology. And you know that funnel resulted in 1 year over 100 grand in sales and over 30 grand a
Crazy.
month in recurring revenue.
Crazy.
No tech, like nothing fancy tech.
Crazy.
Calendly, and Zoom. That's it.
That's crazy.
PayPal, like nothing special. So I put, and for you to duplicate it, right? So what is my message? My message is, I'm going to give away 1,000 marketing plans, 30-minute calls, no
Yeah.
pitch, no FOMO, just book a call with me, and I'm going to give you the steps to move your business forward. And I'm not going to pitch you anything. Those calls went like hotcakes. People were taking them, and they were the best calls ever because I was not selling them anything. And what happens from being completely detached and just serving with real value that people applied and they started making money and growing their businesses from, they ended
Yeah.
up wanting to pay me and working with me.
So let me hold on.
Break it
You're
down,
like,
break it down, break
oh,
it down. You go break it down.
I'm sitting here like waiting for the okay, and then I charge them.
Yeah.
I sent them a bill, but like that hasn't come. They trust you and they come back, is what Monique says. Yes. Like,
The
I mean, you're like, you picked up the phone 1,000 times.
I made it to like
Just kidding.
700 and something. So here's what happened. Yeah. So
Okay.
and I'm not done. I've just shifted a little bit. I'm still doing them, but it's no longer live. It's now via email. And I'll get to 1,000 maybe in another year or two, because that's what I realized. I was like, wait a second, 1,000 free calls in a year. I didn't do the math. That's not happening. We'll take 2 to 3 years to do it.
You
So
still did 700
yeah,
in a year. So
yeah.
that's like pouring yourself into, I was just talking to my sister about this
Yeah.
today. Like serving, right? And
Mm,
like with serving, like just honest from the heart,
mm,
pure servitude,
mm.
when you can give that level of value to someone. A lot of people are afraid to like serve and to give because they're like, no, I want, give me, right? Like their
Yeah.
hands always out. But when
Yeah.
you can just be like, no, here, I just want to give you my knowledge, my
Yeah.
wisdom. Like who said it in here? It was Monique said, people will trust you and they will come back
Mm,
and because they want more, they're
mm.
fiending for more, right? But like, was that your true intention or were you just like, you were just serving?
It was, yeah. And I'll tell you, I had somebody once tell me, serve. I'm not a servant. I support my clients, but I don't serve them. I was like, semantics, semantics. If
Yeah,
you think being a servant is something bad or it's taking from you, then you've already got the lack mindset. You've already
yeah,
got the lack mindset. If just because I'm serving somebody, supporting, giving, does not mean it takes from me at all. Not
yeah,
for me at all. But my
yeah,
true intention, honest to goodness, was exactly that. If I think that I'm going to receive multi-millions, well, let me be damn well ready to give it first. And
yeah.
I don't know if anybody's ever heard of the three graces, but the three graces are to give, to receive, and
Yes.
to return.
Receive
And it's a
and
cycle.
return.
It's a cycle.
Give, receive, return.
To
What is the
give,
return?
to receive, to return, right? And you just give, it's just a cycle. It never
Yeah.
stops. There's
Kind of
so
like
many
pay
good
it
people on
forward.
here right now. There's so many
Yeah.
good people. I know all these people, they're so good.
Oh.
Um, so that was my true intention. My
Yeah.
true intention was just to give. And I think
Yeah.
people felt that and they really truly received
Mhm.
from that. And then the claim to fame, aside from the numbers, I started to teach my clients, right, how to get people literally to ask you, okay, so how do I work with you? Because they would ask me on the call. And then even then there were some people that I was like, listen, you really, it's not me that you want, just go do this. Or actually, it's not me that you want, I'm
Wow.
going to connect you with this person.
Yeah.
Because I
Wow.
had my plate really, really full. But even now where like I have more time, I'm very conscious of when I make a recommendation to somebody for their life that I
Yeah.
am not going to be a part of forever. And I don't wake up with them and I don't go to bed with them and I don't pee with them and I don't eat with them and I don't look at them in the mirror.
Yeah.
I take that recommendation very seriously because the
Yeah.
consequences are not for me, it's for them.
Yeah.
So if I'm
Yeah.
not the person, I'm not the person.
You're not the person. And that's again, that's true servitude, right? You're not, because I think you can tell the difference between someone that's just doing something out of the goodness of their heart and they really want you to be successful
Yeah.
and someone that's just trying to make that pitch, make that dollar. Like you said earlier, I think it was like you get this grimy, like, oh my gosh, like this weird feeling over you. So how are you, been able to like, how did you get the recurring 30,000 a month is that's what I want to know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're so it depends, right? On how much traffic do you have. If you have a lot of traffic and a lot of eyes, you can
Yeah.
have lower dollar, lower ticket offers. If
Mm,
you have a little amount of traffic, you might need to have higher ticket offers.
yeah.
I have been in business for quite some time. I have
Yeah.
everything in between. Everything a product suite, right? Especially for an online entrepreneur, a
Mm-hmm.
coach, a consultant, a service provider, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
You should have everything from free to low to mid to high to exorbitant if you want to. I just I have a little thing about coaches that are charging like 10 grand to talk to them in a VIP day. I need something more than just a chat.
Yeah. I mean, maybe, a nice pair of shoes go along
Yeah,
with
at
it.
least. At least fly me somewhere.
Right.
Fly me
Right.
somewhere and take me to dinner.
Right. Take me to
Call
dinner.
me
Let me
pretty.
get call me.
Something. But like not from a Zoom. No.
Yeah, yeah, no, definitely needs to be more of an in person because one thing is the value of whatever service or product that you are offering
Yeah.
is is you set like the value is determined by the consumer,
Yeah,
right?
that's what I was gonna
And
say. Yeah.
so to some people, depending on what that that is, hey, maybe 10 grand is it's nothing because how much
Hmm.
time is it gonna shave off their plates? But
Yeah.
I love the fact that you're like, no, I have something for every single person because
Hmm.
like we're forever evolving in business, and
Hmm.
sometimes it's important to be able to have that person that you can just, I love podcasts, right? Like
Yeah.
they're free. Like you don't pay for that
Yeah.
knowledge.
Yeah.
And so that's one great free way of providing value.
Yeah.
What's another free way of providing value that you've kind of found?
I mean, those marketing calls, a lot of people call them
Yeah,
discovery
true,
calls.
true,
Yeah, and
yeah,
if anybody on here is listening and you are performing discovery calls, my advice would be to just give them a very specific outcome, like I did, where it's like in 30 minutes, I'm going to give you the next 2 to 3 steps you need to double your income.
yeah,
The next 2 to 3 steps, whatever it is. So very specific.
yeah.
Oof, I have clients that do email drips of meditations. I see
Hmm.
PDFs, mini
Yeah,
courses.
yeah,
If you're a product, there could be things such as coupons or giveaways, stuff like
yeah,
that. Could be
yeah,
free stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So with you doing, like you said, there was only 30-minute calls, right, to
Hmm.
analyze. It's what you're doing. Let's talk about how are you quickly analyzing these people? Like, what is that process like to set up a call with you?
So I don't know if I can plug this now, but I think you'll let me, right? When
That's
those
that. That's
calls
yeah. That.
those calls that I did, I turned them after
Yeah.
doing 700 of them. I turned them
Yeah.
into a quiz. It's like I have
Yeah.
my questions, I know what to ask. So
Yeah.
I turned them into a quiz so that way before it was book a call straight on my Calendly. And I
Hmm.
had spots that were open and they would just get filled up.
Yeah.
Um, at 2 years into it, I guess it's been 2 years because we're in 2022 now. You said I
Hmm.
lost a year. I was like, honey, we lost more than a year.
Right.
We
So
lost
much
more than
time.
a year. I entered this pandemic 39. Now, like, where am I?
Where?
Now I'm in my 40s, but it's great. 40s are great.
Yeah.
So I made a quiz where people can assess themselves. And then what I do is instead of getting on the call, I send them an email with suggestions and I let them
Hmm.
apply and I do
Okay.
my work and decide whether I hop on a call and make them their recommendations and how much it is. So it's shifted a little bit.
Yeah.
Um,
Why
but
was
I
that
think it still
shift?
serves. It still gives them a plan.
No, hands down. And I like the strategy behind it. What made you decide to make that shift outside of, oh my goodness, 1,000 calls? Like what the heck? But like what was it during that process that you were like, you know what, I don't I need to change how I'm doing things.
Truthfully, the first thought, best thought, my grandma was 100 and she died, and I saw this circle, 100, done, legend. She always wanted to go at 100. So
Yeah.
when that happens,
Wow.
yeah, there were just a few things that made me say, I think I'm going to reassess how I spend my time, and I'd like to get into this instead and do this. And I had a dog that I wanted to, really train, and I got into gardening and farming and all of this
Yeah.
stuff. So I spend a lot of time outside farming and growing things
Wait, in New Jersey.
in New Jersey. Yeah.
Wow.
I have one whole
Wow.
garden bed that's a giant experiment, and it is like doing phenomenal things. It has
Yeah.
watermelons, cucumbers, and chickpeas in it. Never grown them before in my life, and they are thriving. I will send you the picture later. It looks like a jungle, and I have
That
like
is
four
so neat.
watermelons popping up. It's wild.
That is so neat. And you know what? As you're saying that, like, so like there's transitions, right?
Mhm.
And your first transition into sales was, with your mom passing,
Yeah.
and then now this new kind of phase in your life is
Hmm.
with your grandma. Um,
Yeah.
like, why do you think when something monumental happens that we start to kind of reassess?
It puts life into perspective. Like whatever it is, it's
Yeah.
almost, I think these are almost like rites of passage, and their experiences. There's I don't know if anybody's ever heard of the I Ching,
Mhm.
which
No.
is, I don't want to say that it's like the Bible or the Torah or the Quran or any of those like ancient religious books. But
Okay.
I Ching is like ancient Chinese wisdom. 3 to 5,000 years old. And what it really describes is we all go through the same shit. We all go through the same shit.
Yeah.
And there's certain rites of passage and experiences that will jar you and
Yeah.
cause you to kind of like reassess almost, or not. I think you're blessed if it causes you to reassess and evolve. If it doesn't, I don't know. I don't know what to call that. I'm not
Why
sure.
do you why do you say that you think that it's a blessing if you are able to reassess?
Because I feel like you still have a chance. You still get to evolve and grow, and I think it really makes a full life. Like I'm
Yeah.
very in tune with. I consider everything. Everything feels like a miracle. I mean, I haven't even told many people this, but we just last week put my very first dog to sleep.
Wow.
And that was hard. I've never experienced it before in my life, and I
Yeah.
still feel like it's another reassessment. So it's when you were
Yeah.
saying your mom, your grandmother, and I'm like, oh, do I tell them about Bella last week? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's another
Wow.
reassessment, and it's like, wow, you know what? Like that shit happens. I'm still here, and I have a
Yeah.
chance to create something moving forward.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. So like I lost my best friend in 2020, and it was a whirlwind. I knew it was inevitable, and she had cancer,
Mm,
breast cancer, got
mm,
diagnosed at 40,
mm.
and she never saw 41, and so it was just really, really, I mean, just trash, right? Like
Hard.
2020, like there's the song like F 2020. It's like literally like one of like the craziest years ever,
Yeah.
and through that, like there was a lot of guilt, like was I there enough for her, um and all that. And I was also angry with her because,
Mm,
you're dealing with like you're so young, like why did you leave, why did you leave me? And
yeah.
she had a son, like,
How
he's
could
just
you?
how could you, right? Like we go through this wave, and then um I'd say as time went by, that's what it's become because she
Mhm.
poured into me like none other. And it was just like, so now I'm just left with her words and with her wisdom and with like what she put over my life, right?
Wow.
And I'm like, I have a chance still. Like I'm still here. And a lot of who I am today, especially as a leader, like I also work in the corporate space, but I love developing leaders. That's like a
Yeah.
passion of mine. It's just a thing
Sorry.
that I do. And it's just like I have this goal to like make as many at least six-figure earners as I can. Like it's like everywhere I go, it's like, okay, who am I promoting next, right? And it's just such a passion of mine. And yeah, anywho, so but she had told me years ago, I met her on the job, and she had said, your purpose in life is to cultivate leaders,
Wow.
right? And so, like, as I'm going through life, and it's like last year was just such a monumental year for me. And I just keep being remembered of like, I'm still here and she's not. And so I still get to dot, dot, dot,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
it's not over yet. Yeah.
It's the full experience of human life,
Yeah.
and death is an inevitable part of it.
Yeah.
So if we're still here, right? It's all of these things occur. I'm not the first one. I'm not going to be the last one. How do I embrace this? How do I
Yeah.
move forward? I just read in this book too, with the passing of a pet. They say you don't move on, but you move forward. And I was like,
Mm.
that's really nice. I like that. I'll
Yeah.
take it. I'll take
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you definitely move forward. I have a this tattoo here. I only have two tattoos, but I've got this one. So it's Sankofa, which
Okay.
is Ghanaian for it's like you have to look backwards like to in order to go forward. So reflection is
Yes.
extremely important. And so I just have that kind of branded on me to always kind of remember that.
I was going to say this before too, and I brought it up to somebody also. When New Year's comes around and everybody's
Hmm.
like planning their year and what am I going to
Yeah.
do? I'm looking back.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the previous year, and I have the
Yeah.
first 2 weeks of January, I am off, and
Yeah.
going through my phone, going through my agenda, and looking back at everything I did in the year before. And I have a saying: what stays, what goes, and what grows,
Ooh.
right? So of the
Yeah.
things that I keep, what do I want to expand and what am I completely eliminating?
Jeez, I
Yeah.
love that. Oh my gosh, I love that. I love that. So, as you kind of move forward and as, you're entering obviously a new chapter, right? It's like we're kind of getting to that phase. I'm feeling it through your conversation. What do you see for yourself, for your business? You said you and your husband, did you guys just started a business or you have one now?
This is what happens when you're in marketing and your husband is an
Okay.
entrepreneur. Yeah, he's just opened up a cleaning company and it's thriving.
I
Thank
love
you,
it.
God. Yeah, knock on wood, it's
Yes.
thriving. It's a
Yes.
business different than I've ever ran before because it's local.
Yeah.
But it's got a funnel too. Just
Yeah.
because funnels exist and they have them, right? Where do people find? What's the offer? How do you convert them? Blah blah blah. But
Yeah.
what do I see for my business? I'm in the process this week of reflecting on it, seeing how I pivot the marketing aspect next.
Yeah.
For that cleaning business is we need to find more employees.
Yeah.
So if you know
Such a
anybody
great
in New
problem to
Jersey,
have.
yeah, if you know anybody in New Jersey and they want to clean with an awesome family-owned company, by all
Holler.
means.
Yeah. Have you tried Facebook groups? I was listening to
He Yeah,
okay.
he's gotten a few in Facebook groups.
Okay.
He's
Okay.
got a few employees, but he's definitely if for that next phase to scale that, he's gonna need more.
Okay.
For
Wow. So
sure.
excited.
For
No, that's
sure.
that's incredible. That's incredible. So I can kind of definitely see like why is it that you're kind of seeing like where does your business go? Are you contemplating, do you spend more time on that?
That
No.
clean
Okay.
the cleaning I can always help. I can dip in and help with certain businesses, but
Okay.
the marketing I really do love. I think I'm a little bit too going with like, wow, all of this. I'm learning all of this stuff about gardening and how do I
Mm.
go move forward with gardening and what do I do? And I'm looking at buying a farm and what does that mean for
Wow.
marketing? So you're
Yeah.
very much so catching me in a phase of like intense. I don't want to say intense, just lots of observation and just
Yeah.
taking note. Like I'm totally okay to go very slow. I've been in business for a long time and
Yeah.
if you're able to build a sustainable business, you can go slow.
Yeah.
So I don't know where it's going really, but I love building businesses, so I don't think
Yeah.
that's going to go anywhere anytime soon.
Nowhere anytime soon. So, I have to ask this. I meant to ask this earlier. Um, what about returning to social media?
Oh! well, here we are now.
Yeah.
I took a picture of me when I was waiting for you. I put a filter on and I was like, I look hot. I'm going to take a picture and post it to stories.
Yeah.
But I was on social media really intensely. That was intense for about 2 years.
Yeah.
And right now I'm taking a super break from it.
Yeah.
I know all of the beautiful ways to generate traffic and leads and referrals, and business is not, thank you God, stopped coming in just because I'm not on social media. I make an occasional reel every
Yeah.
now and then because they're
Yeah.
fun. So I
They are
have
so,
reels.
yeah.
Yeah, I got reels
Yeah.
coming up, but
Yeah.
I haven't been called to speak on stories. I'm more like, as we were saying, I'm more called to have. I prefer intimate conversations. I like the ping pong back and forth. Like this
Yeah.
has been such a pleasure. I feel like I
Oh,
love you.
yes, yes, you're
Yeah.
so incredible. And it makes it so easy, right? Like, and that's the one thing that I did take away from the pandemic was the connections to people that are just that you can't necessarily just touch.
Yeah.
Because I think before then, at least for me, like most of my conversations and just any kind of interactions were done with someone that was just there, right? Like just being really present
Yeah.
and connecting with women, like literally all over the world. Like I've
Yeah.
had the blessing to have guests from like you're in New Jersey. I've spoken with a lady, an author who's a lawyer also,
Oh,
and
wow.
she lives in, I believe it's in Brazil.
Hmm.
And I mean, just all over the place, right? Like it's just been the coolest thing. So like, yeah, I'm here with you. Like I love these kind of intimate settings. I'm not the biggest, like I do have a social media presence. Like I do pop on. I'm more like my stories are popping way more than my actual page. But yeah.
But it's
So
a
I mean,
tool. Social
yeah,
media is a tool. to
Yeah.
get to, you use it how you want to use it.
Mm.
It's a tool, you know?
Yeah.
So good for you.
It's a great tool to express yourself how you want to use it. So it could be sporadic, it could be all the time. I love that. I'm taking that with me.
Yeah, it depends on what you want to build. And you
Yeah.
could, same thing. What's the outcome? What tool do I want to use? What vehicle do I want to use? So
Yeah.
my outcome hasn't changed, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm not riding the social media train this month.
Yeah. Yeah. You're like, that's just not my thing. All
Not this
right.
month.
So I make every single guest, and I don't know if you how much of, previous videos you've watched. It's
I've
kind
peeped.
of
I've peeped. I saw the lawyer from Brazil.
Oh, wow. Okay, awesome. Yeah, so everyone, I always ask the question, like, if you couldn't leave any other piece of advice, right? Like, what is the one piece that you would leave for this world?
I go with my first thought, best thought is know yourself.
Mm,
Get to know who you are, and then
yeah,
everything else is just la 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 la.
yeah, yeah,
Know
yeah,
thyself.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Know yourself. Um, Golly, that's beautifully said. That's it. There's nothing else to say there.
And
So
own
tell
it.
everyone,
And own it. Know
yeah,
yourself and own it.
regardless of like the flaw, regardless of who that person is, right? Like, because we're all beautifully broken in a way, and
Totally.
it's only when you can totally admit, like, I'm not perfect,
Mm-hmm.
okay? Um, I've recently had to like get rid of like my claws, like, and I hate that because I love getting my nails done, and that's like part of who I am. People shame me for it, but I'm like, you know what? No, I like to get my nails done.
Uh-huh.
I like to wear makeup.
Yeah.
I like to do my hair, and that's that. And I don't care if you're gonna shame me for it. So yeah, I
Right.
love that.
There's the book is called The Mastery of Love
Yeah.
by Don Miguel Ruiz. I'm gonna say it with a gringo accent, but he wrote the Four Agreements, and his book, The Mastery of Love, says very clearly that your flaws are perfect because they're doing what they're designed to do, to be flaws. So I read that book years ago when I was living in Spain, The Mastery of Love by Don Miguel Ruiz. It made me fall in love with myself. And in terms of that, this is what I want and that's it, I own it. I would ask you and anybody else that feels that they have to justify why they like what they like to
Yeah.
just ask themselves, why do I like it? What does it make me feel? And don't
Yeah.
share that with anybody else. Don't defend yourself. I'm not telling you what to do, but I'm just sharing. My PowerPoint for me was that's it. I'm just gonna. This is who I am. This is what I like. I'm gonna ask myself why. What does it give
Yeah.
me? And I don't
Yeah.
need to tell anybody that. I just need to self-reflect. That's how you get
Yeah.
to. That's how I got to know myself, and it's
Yeah.
very empowering. Very
Yeah.
empowering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Do not like share that with anybody else. Don't justify it to anyone. This is just who I am, period. Because I said what I said.
Yeah.
Like,
The
the
self.
end.
The self-awareness piece comes when you understand why, and I'm going to use you as the example, right? When
Yes.
you understand why you get your nails done, then
Yes.
you are self-aware. It's not
Yeah.
good. It's not bad. You don't have to tell anybody. You don't have. I'm just self-aware. Boom.
I'm just,
Done.
yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
enough.
And so I recently started a role. I'm in manufacturing, which most people are like, what? Yeah. So professionally, I'm a supply chain manager.
Well, okay.
And yeah, no one
By
ever
day.
expects that. Yeah, yeah. Supply chain manager by day, but I'm really in it for the business of just leading the teams and
Yeah.
just changing mindsets and stuff like that. So team building is what I do it for. But I'm in healthcare now, healthcare manufacturing, and you can't have any. Yeah, I mean, so it's just like this total like, what do you mean? And I can't wear heels and I can't wear dresses and I can't. I'm just like, what the heck? I'm dying. But part of who I am is, is my profession, and so I just put that first. But
Hmm.
anywho, well, thank you so much for just this incredible, delightful conversation. You
Thank
are
you.
such a pleasure. Your spirit is just so vibrant. And I
Thanks.
literally feel like I was just talking to a longtime friend,
Yeah.
which is crazy. I mean, we met for like 10 minutes.
Yeah. This is like we haven't known each other very long, right?
Right. So you're just incredible, and I look forward to kind of seeing where you go next on this journey, on this path that you're on. If you have a farm, oh my goodness, like
You'll see it.
yeah, yeah, I'm pretty excited to kind of see like where you go next. But thank you so much for everything. Where can people find you?
Right. Instagram. I might not be posting every day, but I am
Yeah,
all up in my DMs. There's tons of content that's there that
yeah,
anybody can read through and grow from it, take it, love
yeah,
it, hate it, whatever. But I always respond to my DMs. So Instagram
yeah.
right here, Hera Z.
Hera Z here on IG,
Yep.
and the test is in your bio as well. So
Yep.
y'all entrepreneurs, go on there. I didn't go through like the whole test, but like I
Yeah.
saw some of the early questions, and I was like, I got stuck. It's literally a test that you need in
Yeah.
order to like understand who your customer is and why you're doing what you're doing. So,
Yeah.
anywho, thank you so much. Enjoy your evening. Thank y'all for everybody that joined live. You can catch the replay on YouTube and podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts, with the exception of Apple Podcasts right now when when this comes out. But until next time, happy sipping. Okay. Enjoy your electrolytes.
Listen.
I'ma enjoy my wine.
Cheers.
Quickly.
Thank you so
All
much,
right.
Nancy. It's so much fun.
Of course.
Thank
Yes.
you.
All right. Ciao.
Bye,
Bye.
everybody. See you later.
Bye.